Hey, this is Chad Holmes, the high school pastor here at North Coast Church in Fallbrook, and this is your weekly recap to help you parents stay in the loop with what we're talking about on the weekend and hopefully be able to build off of that in your own home this week. So this weekend we finished up our Jonah series, finally, the four-part series that seemed to never end just because so many breaks and camp in the middle. But it was a great series looking at Jonah's life and the similar series that you adults just went through about a month ago. And this fourth chapter of Jonah is where we focused in Jonah's response after he was used by God and what it revealed about his heart and how different that heart is than God's. And so we just kind of started reading through the scripture of Jonah's response of anger when God actually took grace upon Nineveh. And we talked about when dealing with other people and especially your enemies, we got to remember, first of all, God's heart and who God is and his desire to be gracious and loving and caring and what he's done for that. And that partnered with who he invites into his kingdom and into his family. And how different sometimes we Christians kind of mess that up and think his family is for the good people, when really he called all kinds of messed up people into his family, including Nineveh. And so a little warning against that. And then we asked the question, are you more like Jonah or Jesus? And those two contrasting personality traits of how those two guys dealt with their enemies are just polar opposites, and how often we can fall into the traps of being Jonahs. And then the rest of the remainder of our time just focused on a few real practical ways of us dealing with those Ninevites or our enemies in our lives. And so, a lot of that is outlined just real clearly with anything from, hey, don't argue, but listen and discuss. Be ready to share what you know when you're asked to share that. Never have resentment towards people. It's just the complete opposite of the heart of God. And a few more of those things that just really look at some practical nuts and bolts of what it looks like to have the heart of God for our enemies. So one of the questions that I would just love for you to ask your student is, hey, when Chad asked that question, are you more like a Jesus or a Jonah day to day in life? What would you say and why? And I think that would be a great question for you guys to start out with, and they would know exactly what you're talking about if they heard the weekend's message. So hopefully this is a great resource for you guys. Just so you know, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow, and I'll be gone for 11 days. But Joey will be keeping up stuff around here, and Matt Sesslin's actually going to be speaking next week, so you'll see him on the recap as well as Kristen and Heather holding down the fort here. So hope you guys have a great few weeks. We'll see you in a little bit, and hopefully this is a great resource to you.